right, good evening. Welcome to Kingdom Lum Small Town Underground. We just had a little few technical difficulties in the last few minutes. My software decided to upgrade completely on me as soon as I'm getting ready to go live. So, wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? Welcome to the show. This is Candidate Mondays. Before we get started into it, I just want to just take a moment to thank all the people that came out to our Douglasville fundraiser for Reagan Box, U.S. Senate 26, and Baron Reinhold, Gwinnett County Sheriff. I have a ton of pictures and a ton of videos that I'm going to put together in this neat collage and put some music to it. There's too many people to list now, but we had a great weekend, and the event went spectacular, and all the people that showed up and stayed after for the fireside chats. It was wonderful experience. Wonderful getting to connect with everybody, and especially getting to meet in person the people that I've been talking to for a good long while. So that's what it's all about as we get hot and heavy into this political season that's coming up. And speaking of, what I have next to me is Miss Angie Teems, and she is running for the Commissioner chair of Walker County, Georgia. So welcome to the show, Angie.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. While we get started, I'm going to take a moment to make sure all the updates are here. And I want you to tell the audience who you are, what you're all about, and we'll just kind of start from there. Give us some background and then lead up to where we're at now, okay?
Okay, great. Thanks, Roy. Hello, I am Angie Teems, and I am running for the chairman of Walker County Commissioners. I grew up in Rossville, Georgia, and went to Covenant College. Soon went on to my career in the legal field at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. I retired there after 25 years. In the meantime, I married a Rock Springs man that was very hardworking. My husband's name is Scott, and he has a business in Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, that he has run for about 30 years himself. And we also had a baby girl right after we left, living in East Ridge. We moved to Chickamauga, and we bought a farm there. So we've lived there for about 23 years. Our daughter turned 18 last Friday, and she will be graduating from Gordon Lee High School in about 3 weeks.
Wow.
Soon to go on to college on a rodeo scholarship.
That's awesome. I got one graduate myself.
It's a different time for us because she's our only one. So when she's gone, we'll be trying to figure out what we're going to do with all of our time.
Empty nesters, huh?
That's right.
Got you.
So when I did retire from Blue Cross, I was happy being at home for about 6 months, and then I decided that I probably should be doing something better with my time. Mm-hmm. So the opportunity to work for Walker County government came to me. I applied for the Human Resource Director position and was lucky enough to get that, and worked there for just under a year and a half.
Okay.
Directly working for the chairman.
Okay, of Walker County here,
That's
right?
Okay. Walker County. And I thought the government work would be different, but it was just the exact same as Blue Cross. It was highly regulated, and it's a lot of rules, and but in the same regard, it was a business.
Gotcha.
And as I said before, my husband has owned his own business for 30 years, so we are well versed in all the struggles of that, and the fiduciary responsibility, and making sure that you are planning for the future, and especially if that's your only income. So I felt at home, I'll say that, in the work. I wondered if I would, but it was very familiar to me. So
right.
All I had to do was learn the different departments and meet everyone, and that was the funnest part of the job, was to get out and go to all the departments and meet the department heads and the staff, and get to know them. We jokingly said that I didn't want anybody knowing that HR was coming. So I tell the managers, don't tell them that I'm coming because they'll be scared.
Right.
Because I didn't want it to be like, oh, HR's coming. I wanted it to be like, oh, Angie's coming. Oh, good. And I believe that's
Gotcha.
how I left it with them. They were happy to see me when I rolled up.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And speaking of that, Kim's Coffee Talk, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for joining. I got my coffee tonight, so I'm probably going to reach out to you in the next week or so. So you spent a year and a half in Walker County in the commissioner's office.
That's right. Yeah.
And then you've decided now that that you want to make a change.
Right. So my business background from Blue Cross, lots of training there. I was in the legal division for 25 years because I'm a paralegal by trade.
Okay.
So I advanced in my department, my division, to be the senior manager, and I was in charge of all the non-attorney staff. And I also was in charge of the $42 million budget every year.
Okay.
So that was all the lawyers, all the outside counsel, all of our IT, all of our in-house staff, the whole budget. So that would not be a new thing for me as in the chairman role.
Right. You've got experience in all these matters. Okay.
And a budget pretty much runs the same way. And what I learned from, I didn't know if it would be the same, but when I got a hold of the budget in the county, because I got a copy of it, and I was like, yeah, this is very familiar to me.
Right.
So the way it should work is you work with your department heads, and they tell you what they think they need, and then you work back and forth because you know what your end goal is, you know, the end number you're trying to reach. Same thing at Blue Cross. So
Okay.
I had 3 departments that had their own budget that reported to me, and then I took care of the whole overall budget. So all of the budgets rolled up to the one. And so we had actually 5 altogether. And so I knew I had to spread the money out.
Right.
And some years somebody would get something that they needed, and then other budget would have to sacrifice, and then vice versa.
Right.
So this is the same way at the county, same thing.
Right. It's balancing a budget.
Yeah, and working with the board,
Gotcha.
making sure they understand all the numbers. And so anyway, the budget's one part of that, but also the management of the staff. That's a huge piece of that.
Okay.
So the way I came to be an HR director from the legal division is that my boss, an attorney at Blue Cross, was the attorney for the HR division in the company.
Okay.
So I was with her all the time with the HR division, and I found that work interesting, and I had 51 people reporting to me. So I pursued a certification in HR because I felt like it was going to be more of a validation that I knew what I was talking about, and the HR team themselves would trust me when I was
Gotcha.
helping my boss do whatever we did. So, in giving legal advice or whatever. So, I didn't know 10 years later that certification would actually get me a job working for my local county government, but it did. And because I did love HR so much, that's what drew me to the position.
Okay.
Then I was in there for about 3 to 6 months, and I was trying to make changes, offering ideas, and coming from Blue Cross, they are very stringent about how employees are treated, about following the same standard procedures. And that's one thing I want to change at the county, is
Okay.
having standard operating procedures.
Gotcha.
We don't have that now.
Okay.
Pretty much every department does their own thing. And I realize that each department is going to have separate policies because their work is different. But you got to have overarching policies for the whole organization, which we are really weak on.
Gotcha.
So I'd like to strengthen up those policies and procedures, standard operating policies, and so that everybody understands the rules, and there's something to go back to land on
Sure.
when there's a question or it's unclear. So we're not just making it up for this
Right.
employee
You want
or
it,
that situation.
You want it standardized where it's easy for everybody to understand the transparency. I believe that's one thing you run on, is transparency.
Yes, that's true. That is one thing. So remind me to talk about that in a minute.
Okay. You got it.
So the policies for sure. Well, let's just get into that if you don't mind.
Sure. Let's talk about it. So just to recap, so you decided that you're there and that you think you can make some good changes and you're wanting to implement some things, and so
Right.
let's go into it. What do you see things that you would like to change, make better under a commissioner seat of yours?
I started to tell you that when I cut myself off, that about 6 months into it, I realized that there was lots of opportunity for improvement.
Okay.
And So the next 6 months, I was trying to figure out how can I get somebody to listen to me.
Right. So they weren't listening to your feedback. You didn't feel like you were getting a fair shake, right? Okay.
Exactly. So I tried all kinds of mediums. I tried meetings. I tried memos. I tried speaking at the board meetings. I felt like I was heard, but then nothing changed.
Okay.
So
pacified.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of like patted on the head. Nice little girl. Go
Good
away.
idea. See you tomorrow. Okay.
Right. So I just got more frustrated. And that's when my husband suggested the strange idea that I go into politics because I'm not a politician. Right. I've never run for office. Did not have this in my vision for myself at all.
Trust me, I'm there with you.
So my husband actually was very instrumental in this decision because he broke it down for me. He said, it is a business. It is politics, but it's a business. It's a budget. It is employees, and it's customer service. And when I started thinking about that, especially over the holidays, I was really trying to pay attention to what would I do, how would I do it, and is it different than what I was doing at Blue Cross, just on a bigger scale?
Right.
And except for the budget.
Sure.
But then over the holidays, my family and I prayed about it. It was like several months. Like I said, this was from June to December that these conversations were going back and forth. And I really thought he was crazy. I said, you're crazy. You've lost your mind. And so I felt like it was the right thing to do. Nothing ever told me, do not do that.
Right. Okay, I understand that. Absolutely. I mean, trust me, I'm doing this stuff. I don't even know what I'm doing, and I'm here. So, all right. So let's get into the transparency. So,
Okay.
What do you see? Tell us give us some policies, some things that you're looking into that really matter to you. Like, what do you want to see in this county? What do you want to change?
I have there's a lot of things, so it's hard to say.
Sure.
And that question comes up, like, what are you going to do first? So I always have like a general saying or answer that says that I'll have my team working on many things at the same time. And that's the key. I can't do it by myself, and I do not know all the answers. So I'm a huge collaborator. I love conversation. I love to get a bunch of people in the room because the best idea will come out of that room. It may not be mine, but it might be a piece of mine, and a piece of yours, and a piece of theirs, and it will come together, and everybody will love it. That's how I worked at Blue Cross. Even though I was a senior manager, I listened to everybody. I wanted to hear what they had to say. So I will still be that same person, that same leader.
Okay.
The transparency piece of it, that's a word, well, all of my whole slogan, truth, transparency, and accountability, these words are way overused in politics. And I struggled with them because I thought people are going to think I'm just another.
You're just telling people what they want to hear.
That's exactly right. But then I thought, well, no, I'm convicted to these words. I live my life like this. And I will always continue to live my life by these words. That's how we bring up our daughter. Say what you mean what you say, do what you say you're going to do.
Absolutely.
And don't hide. You're not going to make people happy all the time, but you've got to be able to discuss it and tell them your side of it. And then you agree to disagree maybe sometimes.
Sure. And
then sometimes you can affect change, and people will then see your side of it and realize we should try that.
I think we lack that. We lack a lot of that in modern culture. It's hard to have conversations anymore and get to a certain degree where you can agree or disagree. We've lost so much of that, and I think too that politics has changed where things were never that transparent, and now the people are demanding transparency. We want the truth, we want transparency, and I think that even if people are using it as an empty slogan, we've got people out here that are demanding the transparency, and so especially for new candidates that are coming into office, you can pave your own way to that, if you're going to say those words, because now we're demanding people who haven't been transparent for a long time that they have to be. So
That's right.
We're changing the tides by using that. So it's a good thing.
And this election is going to be huge for that.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
to your
Absolutely.
point, people are standing up and saying, I want something different. And I'm hoping that they will trust me and realize that because I'm not a politician and I'm not in it for that gain, I'm in it for the future of our county.
Gotcha.
And strictly that, because I don't need to have this stress. but I think working together, we will have a great future.
Sure.
But it's going to take all of us to make that movement change.
Absolutely.
It's like a grassroots. I looked that word up the other day, and it was interesting to see the definition of it. And it really was what I'm doing. It is about the people.
Yes.
And what I'm doing is about Walker County people.
Sure. The grassroots are on fire. I mean, and people, we've kind of broken that wall in politics where you know the system provides the people that you need to vote for, and we've just shattered that glass ceiling by bringing people that are truly grassroots people to elect and to represent us. And what I call establishments, they're probably scared of that, you know, because it kind of takes away power and authority in ways that they weren't expecting. So grassroots is very important.
But it takes us back, it takes us back to how this country was really founded.
Absolutely.
It's the very people that live in the country that that started the government.
That's right.
We've lost that.
Yeah, we have. And I like to think we're getting some of it back. So
I hope so. And you asked me about Second Amendment earlier.
yeah, so I got my two questions. I'll start with the first
okay.
one. What is your? Do you support the Constitution unequivocally? Are you a constitutional person?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
That's why I mentioned our forefathers.
That's right. And my second question is: do you support the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms?
Absolutely.
Do you support the people? Okay.
That is written on my material that I hand out.
Good.
I'm a staunch supporter of the Second Amendment. That is absolutely our right, and we can never lose that.
Absolutely. Those are deal breakers for
That's
me.
right.
So.
Me too. I agree. I agree.
Gotcha. So kind of give us a scope on, you've looked at the county, you're here, you're running. So what do you think, what is your idea of the future of Walker County? Where do you see us in a few years, you know?
Oh, in a few years. Well, we have got to start generating some income. So before I left the county, I found out that we do not have a strategic financial plan.
Okay.
And every business should have a 5-year, 10-year strategic financial plan. So that gave me concern that we don't have that. In that plan, you're supposed to have development strategies. You're supposed to have property tax strategies. You'll have the amount that you should save and have in what people like to say the rainy day fund. That's not really a proper accounting term, but we all know what that means.
Right.
So you definitely have to have that. A government is not in the banking business. It is not in a savings and loan. So we should be taking care of ourselves.
Okay.
So the strategy should be to use the taxpayers' money appropriately and put it back into the county in our roads, in our ditches, in our buildings. We have a lot of buildings that are not safe for the public, let alone the employees who work there.
Gotcha.
We should have a strong pension. Well, it's not a pension plan. We should have a strong retirement plan. And we have an old pension plan that needs to be repaired.
Okay.
So that's sticking out there that we need to fix that. Should have already been fixed many, many years ago.
Okay.
That's kind of a highlight of what I'm thinking about. And again, to bring in other revenue, there's lots of ways to do that. We need to find small to medium-sized markets, in my opinion. We don't want gigantic industries that doesn't match our agriculture way of life. We've got to support that. We've got to think of us as agriculture. Our strategy is agriculture-minded, not urban-minded.
Okay.
Of course, development and growth is necessary for any county, of course. But as long as we remain focused on our agriculture way of life that we started out with, then we will be able to sustain that with strategy that we don't have today. If there's a strategy, no one knows it.
Gotcha.
And if it is, and the strategy right now looks like it's urban, not agriculture.
Okay.
So I'll stop there and see if you have any
Yeah, no,
thoughts.
that's
Or,
good. I mean, I agree. Agriculture is a huge part of this county, this state. There needs to be a good balance. I see certain things that are being done now that, you got the Walker Rocks campaign, and they're building some new parks and things and really trying to spice up Lafayette. And we've always had in my opinion, a growth problem just because we're sort of shielded. But where the battlefield kind of shields us from the north, and then we've got a ways to go. We're kind of out here in a non-interstate town, and I'm a small business. We've been in a small business for a couple of decades, and we know how hard it is to run a small business and efficiently. So it seems like Lafayette, Walker County's always had a problem with like keeping businesses here.
yes.
And
Well, surprisingly, Rossville is struggling too.
oh yes,
So they need some love too and attention. All of our areas do.
Sure.
But I think all the cities and the outlying communities, they need to be united with some vision. Like, I don't want to get in the way of the mayors. I don't want to be in their business, but I want to be a support to them.
sure,
I don't want to be a hindrance. And if they need support from my office, then they will get it.
right,
But I want this, and I also want the communities to talk to each other.
gotcha,
Say, here's what we're doing. The lack of communication is just goes on and on and on
Yeah.
in so many levels.
okay,
And the mayors may not want to talk. I don't know, but I can't imagine them not wanting to talk to each other and share ideas
Right.
and say, this is what worked for us, but it's not work. That won't work for us, but we might can do this. Every time I'm in a group, and I hate to belabor the subject about collaboration, but that is so key to getting ideas and to moving forward.
sure.
So I want to get them together. I want to get them talking. If they don't want to talk, that's fine. But I want to open the door.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep the door open. I agree. I agree. Let me just look real quick. We've got, Lisa Adams are with us tonight. Good to see you, Lisa. She said, I saw her signs everywhere last week all over Walker County. So,
I know, yeah.
yeah, there you go.
We're happy to have them. Thank you to everybody that has a sign.
Yeah.
We still have more, so if you want a sign, just contact me. And
Yeah,
we'll get you
tell
one.
everybody how they can get in. How do we get in touch with you? Where's your media at? Tell everybody where to look.
Facebook, of course, is a huge media. We have lots of videos going on there. It's Angie Teems for Chairman.
Gotcha.
That is also our website, too. The website is basically where the platform is, and a little bit about my background. Well, a lot about my background and my education. A little bit about my family, my vision for the county,
Okay.
how the office will run. And the Facebook is just that live stuff going on all
Right.
the time.
I've seen quite a bit of your media that you've been putting out. Very nice, very well done.
I've got a lot of help, and they're doing a great job for me.
Okay.
I really appreciate that. So there is on the website, there's a contact me, and it's an email exchange that will come directly to me, and I'll respond to that.
Okay.
Facebook is Messenger, of course.
Right.
My phone number is everywhere.
Okay.
And I'm getting lots of phone calls. So
you're-
it's fun to talk to new people every day.
That's nice. What kind of concerns are you hearing about?
The main thing, well, not the main thing, there's many main things, but they want to know, funny enough, they want to know if I'm going to hire my friends in positions.
Okay.
And no, I've said all my friends have jobs already.
Right.
They need
Okay.
me to get them a job. And I've never operated like that. Even at Blue Cross, when being there 25 years, I knew a lot of people. And the legal division was a hot commodity. People wanted to be there. So I always was fair, and if they weren't qualified, even though I may have known them for 20 years, they didn't get the job.
Gotcha.
And I just explained to them that I have to take care of my business.
Right.
And it wouldn't be fair to the other folks already in the job for me to pull somebody in that didn't have the same qualifications that they have. So, or had the potential to get them,
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'm not hiring my friends.
Okay.
And sorry, friends. Nobody's asked me anyways. I'm just kidding. The other thing is, I've said communication 100 times. We've got to return calls and emails and drop-ins and that kind of stuff. So I say we'll have a team, and it may not be me that returns that phone call, but it will be my team within 24 hours.
Gotcha. That's good. That's a
Now, well, it's not to say that I can have the answer in 24 hours, but I want our taxpayers to know that their chairman's office is listening and is there for them.
Right.
And we'll call them and say, this may take a week, it may take tomorrow. I don't know what the question will be, but we keep those lines of communication open.
Gotcha.
I also want to have department head meetings. We did not have that. Same regard as the mayor's example I gave. I want them in a room. I want them all talking. Yeah, their work is different, but they're still managing a budget. They're managing people, and they'll have the vision of the county. I want to have a mission statement for the county. We do not have a mission statement right now. I want a mission statement that everybody can buy into, and we move forward with it.
Communication is a huge key. I like what you're saying. You know, the communication has to be better in all aspects to grow. Absolutely.
That's right.
Let's see. So, do you have any kind of donations, funding? Do you need? Are you running any kind of campaign? Can people find a way to give to you if you need?
Yes. On my website, there is PayPal and Venmo QR codes.
Okay.
But if they want to write a check, they can just text me or email me or phone me, and I'll give them the address to that. Okay. We are always taking donations because there's always another thing that we need to do to reach people.
Right.
And I've got a thing in mind that I want to do, and I do need some money to do that.
Okay.
It's my last thing to get to people that may not have seen me, could maybe not be able to get out to where I've been. I've been to 15 different locations on purpose, and then pop-up things, and so it's hard for people to get to where I'm at, sometimes where I'm at.
Sure, sure.
Getting notice of that ahead of time has been hard for people.
Gotcha.
But yeah, thank you for asking for that. Because,
sure.
Yeah, I will take donations.
Okay, good deal. And we'll make sure to post some links on the interview afterwards in case you guys want to check anything out.
I appreciate that.
Can you tell us where you've got some upcoming things coming up that people can reach out, people can come to? What do you got coming up?
Tomorrow's a big thing. Tomorrow is a huge event at the Civic Center in Rock Spring. The Chamber of Commerce is hosting a Meet the Candidate night.
That's right.
So as far as I know, all of us, the candidates are going to be there, and we get 5 minutes at the podium, and then we're going to move to a table. Each of us will have a table that will allow us to speak to people individually.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait to see people that maybe I've not met before or people that I've already met. I'll have swag there for my table giveaways. That's at 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m.
Okay, and that's tomorrow night.
That's
okay,
right.
so you're Civic Center, Walker County tomorrow night. Since we had the difficulty on, wasn't able to pull it up. I was just looking here to see if I could. So I will post the links to that. I believe you're doing you've got some time on the Judy O'Neill show.
Yes,
Correct?
She gives every candidate a free 30-minute session, maybe two. I think it's two. And so Tuesday the 30th.
Okay.
No, Monday the 29th.
Oh, all
Sorry,
right.
I'm having to think of my
Sure,
head.
that's fine.
Monday the 29th, Monday night, I'll be there. I can't remember the time. I think it's 9.
Okay.
On the Judy O'Neill show, 30 minutes. And then the next night, Tuesday the 30th, I'll be in Lafayette at the Bank of Lafayette Community Center.
All right.
Or conference room. And at the Bank of Lafayette at 6 p.m. And anybody's welcome for that.
Okay.
But that's my last official on schedule meet and greet. So I've been doing them since February.
Yes, gotcha.
So now I'm trying, next I'll be going to businesses and just meeting other people as they want to talk to me. So
sounds good.
Yep.
Sounds good. Tyler Lee says, "Hey, Lisa." Okay. Well, I tell you what. Since we've had those little difficulties, we went along. We'll probably go ahead and stop there. We don't have a whole lot of comments. You can always comment, but what I'd like for you to do is give the people your message, because there'll be a lot of people that's going to go back and watch this, and people from all over here, Walker County. So tell people what you want them to know about you.
Okay. So I'm a very strong business person, and I have a strategy in mind for the county. My 3 main slogan words, if you will: truth, transparency, and accountability. I'll say again, I know these are overused, but I live them, and I want you to know that I will be that person, and you will see it proven in the life of the office of chairman by how I act and how my staff acts. So you will see that come to life: truth, transparency, accountability. I want to be your next chairman of the board for Walker County Commissioners, and please contact me, reach out to me, and we'll have a conversation at any time. I will take your call.
Sweet. Oh, cool. Well, we certainly do appreciate you
Thank you
spending
very,
some
very
time with
much.
us this evening. So, folks, there's a whole lot of places that you're going to be able to see her in person. The Walker County Chamber of Commerce will be coming. And, we are getting some comments we'll take real quick. It's coming in. Tyler Lee says, what is Angie's goals for running? We did cover that, and I'll be happy if you want to cover them again for that question.
Well, quickly, just real
Yes.
quickly, absolutely, communication is number one policy that I'm going to set day one. I'm going to make sure that the buildings that we have are repaired and safe for the public and for the employees who work in them. I'm going to look at the property tax structure. I've already been working with Terry Gilreath, the tax commissioner, about that. A tax assessor, sorry. And I have some ideas to talk to him about. I just have a whole laundry list of things that need to be improved and need to be looked at. And the community will know what I'm doing. They will know what I find out. There will be no hidden things. I'm going to be totally 100% accountable. When I say I'm going to do something, I will do it. And you will know about it.
Cool. And let's see, Lisa Adams asks if this is your first time running for a seat.
Yes, it is. I'm not a politician. I've never run for anything else in my life, not even in college or high school. So.
And Tyler Lee says, I'm a Walker County resident. I live in Rock Springs. So
Thank you for
Well, good deal.
commenting. We appreciate it.
yeah, maybe tomorrow you can come out to the Chamber of Commerce at 6:30. Is
That's
it
6 o'clock.
6
to
o'clock?
8:30.
6 to 8:30, and she'll be out there for. You'll be able to meet her and greet her and ask her any questions that you want.
Yes, please do. Thank
That
you so
sounds
much.
good.
Roy.
I'm going to post all the links up here as soon as we get wrapped up, and we appreciate it tonight. Apologize for the late start. As always, some technical difficulties. Tune in to the show on Wednesday evening. We're going to have something special on Wednesday evening, and like I said, folks, thanks so much for just hanging with us and showing your support.